All right, I think we're up and running. Good morning. Welcome, get comfortable. And if you have a block available to you, I'm going to offer the option of a block for a couple of these exercises. Welcome to core. So go ahead and let's just take a moment to center in, becoming present with our bodies, becoming present with our breath. Taking deep inhales and exhales through the nose. If that's available to you. The most incredible thing about the breath to me is its ability to bring you so quickly, so immediately into the present moment. Because the breath only happens in the now. So if you ever feel yourself caught up rerunning the past or worried about the future, bringing your attention to the breath can really bring you back to what you're actually experiencing right now in your body, in your reality. So as you allow your eyes to close, if you haven't already, and your shoulders drop down away from your ears, go ahead and tuck that belly button up and in, activating your core, reaching through the crown of your head, just allowing your knees to drop towards the floor, pulled by the force of gravity from this nice tall seat. I'm just going to take a moment to introduce you or reintroduce you to a couple ideas on abundance and wealth that have just stuck out to me lately. I've been reading this book, and the idea that I came across recently and actually felt the need to read a passage to two different people already, the same passage. And it basically talks about value and how your innate value should not be tied to the money you see in your account or in your possession, because it's not. Your value and your ability to generate wealth comes from within. And that is because you are connected to creative potential, that your ideas and your creativity are where your value comes from. And by tapping into that value first is where you'll really be able to generate your wealth and keep it effortlessly. Just allowing your eyes to open with that idea, honoring your innate value. Go ahead and interlace your fingers, pressing your palms forward, drawing your elbows together, and then squeezing your shoulder blades together on your back. Inhale, arms up. You're going to keep working those forearms back towards the back of the room as you twist and press those palms up towards the sky. A few deep breaths here, feeling your rib cage open as your lungs expand, and exhale. And release down on an exhale, switching the cross, taking that awkward cross, which one of these days may not feel so awkward anymore. Pressing your palms forward, again, squeezing those elbows before drawing those shoulder blades together on your back. Shoulders stay down away from the ears, palms up, forearms back, belly button tucked up and in, strong core, breathing into the rib cage. If you're activating everything, this is already a lot of work. And on your next exhale, release. We're going to take a few moments to open up this morning. And then I have a pretty decent core class. So follow along for as much as feels good. I'll give you encouragement to push yourself along the way, but please honor your body. It's going to be a good one. Go ahead and walk your fingers forward. Still dropping those shoulders down, leading with the chest. Chest comes towards the floor first. Extending out through the crown of the head, keeping it in alignment with the neck. And most of us are always a little tighter in the morning, so if you begin to find some opening as we move into these stretches, go ahead and keep walking those fingers forward. Go a little deeper. On your next inhale, pressing up, lifting from the rib cage, twisting towards that right leg, and then go ahead and walk back out, leading with the chest. And take it until you get a stretch. I'm working within the limits of my body in this moment. Work within the limits of your body in this moment. Maybe you walk those left fingertips forward just a little bit more. Inhale, pressing all the way up again. Reaching up through that rib cage before twisting and walking. And maybe you walk those right fingertips a little bit more forward. Inhale, pressing all the way up. Go ahead, bring the feet out. Left foot comes across to the right side body. Right leg crosses over sole of the foot on the mat. Go ahead and hug that right leg with the left arm. Pressing up through that right arm, finding your length through the spine first. Before you may exhale into a deeper twist, first through the rib cage and then the neck can follow. On and exhale, releasing to center. Nice work, switching that cross. Right leg comes across to the left. Left leg over, find that nice grounded seat. Hugging that left leg, left arm supports. Take a breath or two here, just in the lengthening of the spine before you deepen into the twist. And on an exhale, release, untwist, making your way onto your back. Pardon me if I gaze at my notes from time to time. I just prepared this morning. It's a little different than what have a block handy if you can. If not, you can do some extra reps of some of the other ones, or maybe you'll need a break at that time. Always feel free to rest. So all the way onto your back, bringing the soles of the feet together into bound angle or butterfly. And just taking a moment to relax here, allowing the knees to fall towards the floor with gravity. And we're gonna enact that core, that belly button tuck. So that space between your lower back and the floor, that natural curve of your spine, go ahead and erase that now. Pressing the lower back to the floor, you'll feel a sensation of the belly button tucking up and in. And release, and tuck, and release, and tuck, release, tucking one more time and holding, making a little net with your hands, holding at the base of the spine. Neck and shoulders come up off the mat, still tucking, still pressing that lower back to the floor. Inhale and exhale up a little higher. Inhale down, exhale up. And now we're in it, moving with our breath. I'm going to attempt to go for about 30 seconds. I'm not watching the clock, so do what you can. Use your breath. You're powerful. You're strong. A nice strong core helps us stay young. Helps us keep our range of movement. Just a few more times. You're almost there. And on your next inhale, releasing all the way to the mat, releasing that pillow, releasing that tuck, bringing the soles of your feet to the mat. Nice work. We're going to go ahead and breathe here for a breath or two. If you have a hard ground under you for this next one, I would try a couple, but if it really doesn't feel good on your spine, feel free to opt out. But it might feel really nice. You might get a real nice spinal massage. I'm on a mat on a carpet, so honoring where you're at. Go ahead and draw your knees up towards your chest. This is going to be a rolling crow. So you're going to bring your elbows in to touch your legs. And we're going to rock and roll to seated and back. And you're going to work on keeping those elbows to those knees the whole time. Up and back and up and back. Elbows to knees as best as you can. Take it slower if you need to. Take a break in between if you need to. Otherwise, stay with me. Just a few more if you can keep going. If not, rest here. There's plenty more goodies coming. And as you come to seated next time, just hold behind those thighs and roll back one vertebra at a time and rest. Taking a little rest between. And go ahead now and re-engage that tuck. Pressing that lower back to the floor, bringing the feet up to tabletop, 90-degree bend at the knees. Go ahead and make a pillow with your hands behind your neck. And for all the sit-ups, we really want to lead with our chest. So imagine you're drawing your chest up to the sky. It's not so much a crunch and round, but an upward motion. With that belly button tucked, the lower back pressed strongly into the mat, let's go ahead and begin. On an exhale up, and inhale pretty much to neutral. You're not coming all the way back to the mat. If we can keep the core engaged, that's where the beauty of the work really comes in. And obviously you want to be feeling this through the front abdominals. If you begin feeling this in your lower back, any of the things, that is a great cue to discontinue. Inhaling back, exhale, crunch. Lifting that chest. And release all the way to the mat. Relax. All right, grab that block. So for this one, the offering with the belly tuck is going to be to come with straight legs close to the ground. If you're still really working on building up the core, I encourage you to just maybe come to like a 45 or less, just to where you feel that lower abdominal area activate, but not enough that you're peeling your lower back up off the mat. If you start to feel an arching in the spine, don't go that far with the legs. So go ahead and bring the legs to tabletop. You're going to bring the block in between your hands. We're going to be touching the block to our shins and then extending out. Exhale, touch. Inhale, expand. Again, yours might look like this. If you want more and you can keep that lower back on the ground, come lower. Again, I'm guessing probably horribly at about 30 seconds. I'm not counting reps, so do what you can, rest when you need to. This is about building an abundance of strength in your body. And we can't do that by injuring ourselves. So please listen to yourself. A couple more times, if you can. If you've been resting, maybe you close out, maybe you don't. And release. Soles of the feet to the mat, block to the side. That one's a little bit deeper than the other ones. We're going to take a few moments to break here. Maybe you draw your knees into your chest, giving them a little squeeze. roll those hips out from side to side. Maybe make some circles, one direction and the other. All right, one more on our backs, and then we're gonna switch it up. So I think this is the last one with the block. So if you have a block, go ahead and grab it. If not, maybe just do regular bicycles. Bringing those knees to tabletop. You're gonna put the block on the knees, and you're gonna use your forearms to press them against the knees. With the forearms pressed there, you're going to extend one leg out to 45-degree angle and back, and the other and back. And again, the higher you keep the leg, a little bit less work it is, but it's better if that's what you need, if that's where you're building from. Otherwise, if you want to go, if you want a little bit more, you can bring that leg down lower. And as you bring both knees back on your next round, go ahead and release that head and shoulder to the mat. Releasing the block, soles of the feet come to the mat. Nice work. As you're ready, you're going to make your way onto your belly. So the next few are going to be forearm planks and planks. So before we get started on that, just a couple options. If your wrists start to feel like it's too much, but other parts of your body feel like they can keep going, making a fist for the planks is a great way to kind of re-strengthen those wrists and take some of the pressure off them versus the flat hand. Also, in our planks, you don't want to be dipping in the belly at all. You really want that bottom up, and not up like a mountain, but you want it up. You're pressing through those arms strongly. You're rolling those biceps in, almost as if you could push your spine out through your back. And here's with my belly button not tucked. Here's with my belly button tucked. Tucking that belly button. But we're not going to start with a high plank. We're going to start with a forearm plank. So go ahead and come to your forearms. You can either take a hand hold or palms flat onto the mat. Tucking those toes under, engaging that belly button, pressing those hips up. And then we're just going to dip one hip to the side and the other. Maybe you touch the floor, maybe you don't. Inhale, center, exhale, dip. Pressing strongly through those elbows. Your back is engaged. Rest if you need to. Up to center. Let's bring the knees to the mat and take them nice and wide. Bring those big toes together. Pressing back, child's pose. Go ahead and inhale back up to your hands and knees. Stack those knees right under the hips, wrists right under the shoulders. We're just going to take a little bit for the obliques, the sides. So this part is going to be all kind of what you put into it. You can make this one as hard or as easy as you want. If you really draw that hip up towards your shoulder, you're really going to feel that crunch in the side. Inhale through center, exhale other side. I like to just kind of look over my shoulder towards my hip. You can move the hips without actually doing any work, or you can really squeeze and get that work in there. The spine is nice and neutral. Belly button is still tucked. We're not dropping in our lower back. And release to neutral spine. This next one is awesome if you like going upside down. We're not going to go upside down today, but I have started offering it. But this will really strengthen the muscles in the back and the shoulders and the core that are required to hold you upside down without injuring other parts of your body. So go ahead and bring your elbows to the mat about shoulders distance apart, lacing the fingertips and pressing the sides of the hands into the mat. We're going to come into dolphin, which is basically like a down dog, but on our forearms. So pressing into those forearms and elbows, really pushing those hips back. You can keep a bend in the knees. I pretty much have to. Maybe we stretch for a second. Keep pressing that chest back towards your thighs. And then press both heels back, peek back at your heels. Make sure they're just out of view. And you're going to inhale, rolling over onto the toes, bringing that forehead or chin towards your hands. Exhale, press back, heels towards the mat. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Do as many as you can with me. Drop to your knees if you need to. And knees to the mat if you haven't already. We're going to come back into child's. Big toes together, knees apart, belly drops in between those thighs, chest and forehead to the mat. Inhaling forward onto the hands and knees. Go ahead and make your way to your bottom. This is the last one, and then we're going to stretch it out to the end of class. So good job, you made it. I hope your core feels nice and activated. Go ahead and hold behind those thighs, lifting those knees up, bringing those shins parallel to the mat. Maybe you flex, maybe you press out through the balls of the feet. Go ahead and draw that chest through the shoulders towards the thighs. Maybe you just hold here for a few breaths. Maybe you want to add on with me. Prayer position. I'm going to exhale to the side. Inhale, center, exhale, other side. Or you're just holding boat. Or you support yourself with your hands behind your back and just your legs are up. Or maybe you're done with core for today. Yogi's choice. If you're with me, keep drawing that chest up. One more, other side. Center, grabbing behind the knees, dropping those feet to the floor and rolling back down. Beautiful work. Let's go ahead and take a couple bridges, walking those heels in towards your body as close as you can. From here, start by rolling those shoulder blades under as much as you can, and we will one more time once we get up into bridge. Start by pressing the palms of your hands into the mat. You're going to squeeze. In fact, if you still have a block close together or close to you, you can use it. I like the block. If you don't have a block, it's not necessary for this part. Squeezing your legs into that block really as hard as you can. You're really activating the inner thighs, pressing into the soles of the feet. As you continue to squeeze, rolling those shoulders under more. When you come up high enough, maybe you interlace those fingers behind your back. Continue to squeeze your glutes, squeezing the thighs together, pressing those hips up, getting a nice heart opening, shining that heart up towards the sky. Breathing into your bridge here, this nice back bend. Go ahead and unclasp those hands, beginning to remove the shoulders from under your back as you start to roll down. Rolling down ever so slowly so the tailbone hits the mat last. If you took a block, you can remove that now. Go ahead and take that left foot, crossing it over the right. You want to keep that left foot, that top foot nice and flexed as you grab behind the thigh or in front of the shin, just so long as your shoulders can come all the way back to the mat. To get that really nice hip opening here, you're going to keep drawing in on that knee or that shin, drawing that left leg towards your chest. Keep drawing in as you release that tailbone towards the mat. Some nice isometric pulling here. Maybe take this opportunity to open up at the ankles and you can start making circles with that right ankle, that bottom foot. Nice slow circles. Working through any spots that feel a little sticky. Maybe taking it the other direction. Actually, for sure, taking it the other direction. And relaxing it as you're ready for a few more breaths. really, really pulling in, getting a little deeper in the back of the hip there. And release, switch sides. And really flexing the right foot this time, the top foot. Pulling that shin in towards the chest. Maybe you begin to rotate that left foot, opening up into the ankle. Maybe just relax into the pose. Continuing to open through the back of the hip there, the back of that right hip. That right foot is flexed very strongly. Keep pulling that shin in towards the chest. Pressing that tailbone towards the mat. Creating that space there. And exhale, release. Since we've done so much core today, I'd like to open up across the front. So go ahead and grab behind the thighs, maybe roll a couple times, rolling up to seated. I'm going to still take one leg at a time because both can be pretty intense, and I don't want anyone to feel like they need to force themselves into any position. So go ahead and take that right heel back towards the body, and you're going to work towards getting the sole of the foot to point up, the heel to point up. You might need to, you might need to remove a little bit of that calf flesh from inside there, kind of roll it out of the way. Then you're going to track that right knee directly in front of the hip. Left foot also tracking right out in front of the left hip. And from here, with both hips, both sit bones resting on the mat, maybe you're already in a pretty deep stretch here. If not, go ahead and continue to walk yourself back onto your elbows. And maybe you come all the way back onto your back. Keep tracking that left knee forward. It might want to, right knee forward, both knees forward, but right knee forward, it might start to want to flare out to the side. A lot of times being tight in the front of the thigh, the quad here, and in through the hip flexor can really be a cause of a lot of our lower back pains. So really opening in here is a really great way to ease a lot of that tension. In fact, aside from specific injuries or like herniated discs, most back pain comes from being too restricted in other muscle groups. As you're ready, if you came all the way onto your back, I want you to really tuck those elbows under, coming up onto the elbows, and slowly walking yourself back up to seated. From seated, you're going to roll off of that hip to release that bottom leg. I like to bounce my knees a little bit between some of the deeper stretches, just to kind of reset. Go ahead and take that left foot back, working the heel towards pointing up. knee tracks straight in front, and then choosing your depth. Maybe you notice one side is more open than the other. That's pretty common. Are both sit bones, both hips resting against the mat? If not, come back up a little bit. You want both hips down. Remove some of that calf flesh if you need to. Maybe make your way all the way down onto the mat. If you came all the way down, beginning to walk those elbows back under, taking a moment to press yourself all the way up, rolling onto that right hip to release the left leg. Bouncing the knees out and coming all the way back down. For Shavasana, since that was a little back bend though, I want to just take a really quick counter pose, just squeezing those knees in towards the chest, releasing that lower back there. And you can draw the legs out long, allowing the arms to fall open. And just releasing control over the breath here in Shavasana, our final resting position. And as you settle in for a moment or two into this final resting position, just observe the natural flow of your breath. I'm going to introduce a mantra. I create my wealth from my inherent value. I create my wealth from my inherent value. I create my wealth from my inherent value. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and sighing it out through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you're ready, begin bringing the soles of your feet back to the mat. And from this position, begin to roll onto your side for a breath or two in fetal. as you're ready, beginning to push yourself back up to seated. And as we meet in seated, I'll leave you with this, palms together, pressed into the sternum. May your wealth overflow from the abundance that already exists within